All right, let's dive into a real-life forensic inquiry, one that investigates a phenomenon that's as beautiful as it is baffling. We're talking about these massive, impossibly intricate geometric patterns that just appear overnight in fields all over the world. But here's the big question. What if they're not just art? What if they're a message written in the language of sound?
I love this quote because it just perfectly sets the stage for our investigation. We're not just looking at some flattened plants here, we're looking at potential glyphs, symbols that might be pointing us toward a science we've long forgotten.
So, to even begin to understand what's going on, we have to start with the evidence on the ground, literally. What are we actually looking at when we see one of these incredible formations? Now look, can simple circles be hoaxes? Of course. No serious researcher denies that. But it's the monsters that justify any easy explanation. Get this. The Stonehenge Julia set, a 900-foot-long fractal pattern, reportedly appeared in just 15 minutes. Or how about the Milk Hill Galaxy? That's a mind-bending 400 individual circles spiraling over 12 acres. The sheer scale and complexity here, well, they really challenge the simple explanations.
So let's just boil this down to 3 key facts, things we can actually observe. 1. These are huge, mathematically precise patterns. 2. They have this weird habit of showing up near ancient sites like Stonehenge, places that are often located on geomagnetic alignments, which are like natural lines of energy in the Earth's crust. And 3. Their geometry is seriously sophisticated, often encoding things like the golden mean, a ratio you see everywhere in nature, and really complex fractal math.
So how could geometry this complex even be formed? Well, to answer that, we need to explore a really fascinating field of science that might just hold the key. We're talking about something called cymatics.
So what is cymatics? It's actually pretty simple. It's the study of how vibration organizes matter. It's literally the science of making sound visible. The whole idea is that sound isn't just this invisible wave, it's a force that actually creates form.
And the process is amazing to watch. You take a plate, you sprinkle some sand on it, or maybe a bit of water, and then you apply a single, stable frequency from a speaker. Instantly, that vibration forces all those little particles into a beautiful, stable geometric pattern. But here's the really crucial part. As you raise the frequency, the pitch, the patterns get more and more complex. Simple tones make simple circles. Complex tones create these incredibly intricate mandalas.
And this is where the theory really starts to click. On the left, you see a complex crop formation, and on the right, that's a pattern made in a lab using nothing but sound vibration. I mean, look at the similarities, the nested polygons, the spirals, those mandala-like structures. It's not just a vague resemblance, it's a direct geometric parallel. It's uncanny. Okay, so that visual connection is compelling, for sure. But is there any hard, physical evidence to back it up? This is where the real forensics come in, when we look at what actually happened to the plants themselves.
A biophysicist named W.C. Levengood studied plants from inside these formations, and what he found were these consistent anomalies that you just can't explain by stomping around with boards. The plant nodes, the little knuckles on the stalks, they were stretched out, sometimes even blown open, as if they were cooked really fast from the inside. He even found these tiny expulsion cavities, which suggest the water inside the plant literally flashed into steam in an instant.
And this wasn't just a one-off finding in a single field. These exact same anomalies were documented in over 250 different formations across 7 countries. That tells you that a consistent, energetic phenomenon is probably at play here.
So Levengood's hypothesis actually points to a natural phenomenon, a kind of spinning energy vortex. He proposed that this vortex could be emitting these short, intense bursts of something like microwave energy. That would totally explain the weird effects on the plants, heating them from the inside out, and it could lay down those precise swirling patterns using targeted energy instead of just physical force.
Okay, so let's recap. We have patterns that look a lot like sound made visible, and we have physical evidence of some kind of high-energy event. So the next logical question is, are these patterns just random natural glitches, or could they be something more? Could they actually be a message?
This really is the central question, isn't it? What if these glyphs are ideograms, kind of like characters in a symbolic alphabet? Some researchers have even pointed out that the designs seem to evolve over time, combining simpler elements into more complex sentences year after year, almost as if it's teaching a visual grammar.
So 2 really fascinating interpretations start to pop up. The first is that they're an ideographic code, basically frequency sigils that speak directly to our consciousness, skipping over logic and activating some kind of deeper archetypal awareness. The second idea is that they're a resonance map. Maybe the Earth itself is showing us where its natural energy lines are most active, like a hologram appearing at a planetary pressure point.
And this leads us to the most provocative idea of all. If this is a language, what if it's not just symbolic? What if it's technical? What if what we're looking at are actual blueprints for a lost technology, a technology based on sound?
So if these are teaching diagrams, what in the world might they be trying to teach us? Well, the potential answer connects some very modern physics with some of our most ancient legends. Okay, believe it or not, sound can counter gravity. This is a fact. It's modern physics. It's called acoustic levitation. And scientists today use high-intensity sound waves to float tiny objects, like beads of water, in midair. It's not magic, it is established science. The only difference is scale. We can levitate a few grams. But ancient legends, from Tibet all the way to Peru, talk about levitating multi-ton stone blocks with precisely tuned sound.
And you can see these echoes of this idea all through time. You've got ancient accounts from Tibet describing monks using sound in a very specific geometric arrangement to lift stones. In the Andes, local tradition insists that sound was used to shape and move these massive megalithic blocks. And now, you look at the modern formations, and what do you see? They often encode the golden ratio and fractal spirals, which are basically mathematical blueprints for how to make energy flow efficiently. A picture starts to form of engineering diagrams for resonance.
So let's bring this all together and just be super clear about our verdict. What can we say for sure and what is still a really compelling but unproven theory?
So here's where we land. On one side, we've got hard evidence. The complex geometry is real. The weird anomalies in the plants are real. The patterns look an awful lot like cymatics, and acoustic levitation is proven physics. But on the other side, we have speculation. We don't know if there's a specific message. We don't have direct proof of large-scale sonic lift. And of course, the big one, the identity of the creators. That remains the biggest mystery of all.
So I think the crucial takeaway here is this. When you look at all the evidence, these phenomena start to look a lot less like elaborate pranks, and much more like frequency diagrams, drawn on the canvas of the Earth itself.
And that leaves us with one final and pretty profound question. Whether they are a deliberate message from some unknown intelligence or maybe just a mirror of the Earth's own natural forces, are they all pointing to the same revolutionary idea? That there is a powerful science of sound, one that may have shaped our ancient past, and it's just been waiting patiently in the fields for us to finally remember it.